Hello, dear listeners and viewers. Welcome back to the Relationship Goddess Medicine Show, where you get legit, licensed, psychologically sound miracle cures for relationship insanity. And we all have some, right? So, I'm Yaj. I'm your host. I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm thrilled today to have a really special sacred musical guest coming on later. Allison Miller is here with me in the studio. Allison Miller. And I'm psyched. So first, as always, we're going to do candle medicine and invite in the company of a candle. And today I also have, my mom died, by the way. Last show, she was on her way to the celestial realm, and she died Tuesday night, which was last week. It's Medicine Monday today. We shoot on Medicine Mondays, and I was talking about how she was on her way out, and she did die the next night. And so it's been quite a week. It's been quite a week for me, and my whole family. My family, but really quite a week for me. And I'm okay. I'm really okay. And today's show is dedicated to my mom, and motherhood and the great mother, the great divine mother. But so as you can see, I took this picture of my mom like about a week and a half before she died, and it's one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken of her. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's just the warmth in her eyes, and this is such a softness and an angelic softness. It's one of the most special pictures I've ever taken of her, and she was a week and a half before she died. So there's this candle. It's the Jewish thing. Allie, is it the yahrzeit candle, or the yahrzeit is when you unveil the tombstone? Ron, are you Jewish?
Yeah.
You are? Oh, come on, I got 3 Jews in the room. Is it called a memorial? Shit. It's either called a memorial candle. Oh, I'm butchering it. It's either called a memorial candle, because the yahrzeit is the unveiling of the tombstone a year after.
Actually, no, my mom does it too. But,
so I think it's just the memorial candle that you leave burning, I think, for 7 days, and it goes to the immediate family member. So I have that next to my mama, but we're going to do our medicine show, candle medicine, too. And I like to quote my mom when I light the candle, in that she always said candles are company. I always thought that was really sweet. So whatever you're inviting in or invoking with your candle medicine at home, and I always invite you, try this at home, kids. Join me, light a candle, get your incense ready. No matter what you're invoking or inviting in, candles are company, and they bring in the light. And sometimes the simplest is the most profound, right? And the incense, right? I will waft, as always, so you can join in, but I invite you to light incense at home. This time it's cinnamon stick, which I really like. It's warm. I think it's sort of erogenous, isn't it? Isn't cinnamon sort of kind of tantric or yummy, delicious?
Helps balance blood sugar.
Oh, helps balance your blood sugar. I could use some of that. And your cortisone level. That's perfect. Thank you, Allie, because I'm not eating right today, and I'm kind of jittery. So I just shoved a whole grapefruit in my mouth, and I have some tea here. So I'm honoring my mommy, Shirley, maiden name Levencrone. My father's last name was Waller, and then her second husband was Fite. So she didn't go by Shirley Levencrone Waller Fite, but I just say that out loud in case anyone watching knew her in any of those names. But in the last 20 years, she's been Shirley Fite, or Shirley W. Fite. She kept the W. So in honor of my mommy, who was 87 and died on April 8th, but I have a little secret to share on YouTube.com. I'm going to share it. It's going to be a little piece of my rant on relationship insanity that leads to a miracle cure. But first, I just want to show you, I'm drinking tea. These were her cups. There's 2 of them. Allie has the other one. She liked her tea. She never didn't want a cup of tea, and frankly, that's really when I knew she was on the real last decline is when I would say, would you like a cup of tea? And there'd be like no reaction. Where like my mother was like, would you like a cup of tea? Her answer was always, when do I ever say no to that? So when she said no to that, and eventually said nothing to that, that was really the beginning of the end. So I shall continue. I normally don't do the Lipton with the milk. She used to put sugar in. I don't have sugar in. I just don't like it. But Mama, wherever you are, and you are, L'chaim. I'm drinking tea in your honor, and Allie's drinking some good old Lipton too. Oh, we haven't had Hippie join us on the show yet. This will be interesting. My cat. What are we going to do about that? Okay. So it's been... There's a cat in the studio. The tail's probably right in front of the camera right now. The tail just totally... That's my cat Hippie. Totally forgot about that. He comes in when I'm with clients all the time. I see clients right here, but I hadn't thought about what to do if he comes in while we're filming. It's the first time for everything. I can't, it's beyond the scope of this episode and this show to talk all about what this week has been like for me. I'll write a little bit about it, but, the funeral preparations, going through the funeral yesterday, seeing family reunion tonight. I'm sitting Shiva, and tomorrow night for a few hours, Jewish tradition of just being in your home, and people come and they visit and they kibitz and they schmooze, they bring food, we eat, we laugh, we reminisce. It's a visiting time, very observant. Jewish people do it, I think, for 7 nights, and it's really intense. I'll just do 2 nights, a few hours. It'll be nice. Friends will come by. But it's been really intense. I'm okay. I really am genuinely okay because, and this will get into my little relationship insanity rant of the day. I love my mother very, very much. I'm really lucky to have a close relationship with my mother. Not everyone can say that for a variety of reasons. I'm a therapist. I hear about it all the time. Tell me about your mother. So I was very close with my mother, so there was lots of love between us, lots of love shared between us over the years. So it made it ultimately easier for me to decide to bring her into my home. Because I just wish I did it sooner, frankly, but it made it like, well, of course I will do this for my mother, and it made it easier for me to just give her love and nurse her through the last days of her life. But it also made her passing on, there wasn't anything left unclean or unresolved or icky, or, oh, shit, I never said I'm sorry, or, these stories people have that I think like kind of twist the knife in their grief process, this complicated grief. So for me, it's just, wish I had her longer, just miss her. It's an empty, a new version of empty, sad, lonely, but I'm okay, and I was with her in her last breath, and, people say it's beautiful. I think if she was like peacefully just, breathing and then the breathing stopped, that might have been beautiful. But it was, it was kind of gruesome, frankly, watching someone take their last breaths. But it was beautiful. It was my mommy. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about some insights that this process has given me about relationship insanity. So it was easy for me to give love to my mother, in stressful circumstances, disturbing circumstances, draining, scary, uncomfortable circumstances. It was easy for me to give the love and the attention and the affection and the care. I think it's really safe to say mostly because she gave it to me when I was a child. I have memories. She was always so good when I was sick. Some parents aren't, some people aren't, some partners aren't. She was one of those moms that was really good when you were sick. Like, she really empathized and she had compassion that you didn't feel well. And she would say things like, I'm so sorry you don't feel well, you know, and do the, remember, oh God, it's just like coming up from my subconscious. Lipton's, it wasn't even cup of soup. It was in an envelope. It was in a packet that just had water, so horribly unhealthy, but like that's what you wanted when you were sick, the chicken noodle with the little short, thin noodles. Oh my God, like she'd make you the chicken soup. Sometimes she had homemade chicken soup, you know, and set up the TV tray in the living room. And, you know, back then it was just TV, but you could just watch, you know, whatever, uh, uh, um, Little House on the Prairie reruns all day, you know, and just be sick. You know, if I was puking on the toilet bowl, like she was there with the washcloth, you know, holding my forehead with the cool washcloth. And she was good like that, you know, really good like that. So and among other ways that she showed me she loved me. So I received that kind of nurturing and care. And so it's not like, well, therefore I, you know, owed it to her, though it's more like a feeling of clean, right exchange. It's not like I owed it. It's just like, yes, I will give this to you. It is the right thing to do. It should be me giving this to you, not a stranger. And this is right. But it was also easy. Even when it was uncomfortable, hard, it was easy because I got that. She was just very loving to me. Thank God. Thank Goddess that I got that. So, relationship insanity, all right? I'm a therapist, right? I hear a lot of people's stories and I ask into people's stories about their relationships with their parents and their childhood, their relationships, their childhoods growing up. Because it really matters. It really makes a difference. What those relationships were like, particularly with the primary caregivers. And, you know, so I hear a lot of painful stories of relationship insanity, you know, abusive behavior, and there's all kinds of abusive behavior. You know, that's another whole several episodes. It doesn't have to be the alcoholic, raging parent that beat you up or severe, hardcore neglect. There's all kinds of behavior that really wounds children. And I hear these kinds of things, and I help people mostly get in touch with the real feelings. A lot of people want to like move on. They've swept it under the rug. Their defenses are, you know, so they're really like in gear. So there's a couple different relationship insanities I want to talk about. But okay, so one is if you didn't have a good experience, if you have painful past baggage with a family member, particularly a parent. I'm talking to adults here, whoever's listening. Adults who have unresolved things, whether your parents are alive or dead. If there's unresolved resentment, you're not quite sure what, like trauma, just negative, icky feelings come up when you think about one of your parents or both. That means that there's more for you to do there to get in touch with those feelings and what they're really about, and what your truth really is, what your story really is, of the truth of your feelings, whatever they are. And not doing that is relationship insanity with yourself. It's abusing yourself to go through life having ick, yuck, like, and just not dealing with it. And by dealing with it, my main point is truly getting in touch with what your real feelings really are about whatever happened. With what Alice Miller calls an enlightened witness, who can sometimes be a friend or like a sponsor in 12-step. Often it really needs to be a very, very, very good therapist, which, you know, they're not all that easy to find. The best ones. But an enlightened witness who can really help you get in touch with the truth of your story, because if you're not really in touch with the truth of what In the Body Never Lies, that's the book title that I'm reading by Alice Miller, if there's still stuff there and you're not getting clear about what it is, you're carrying this in your body, and it could really lead to illness, all kinds of illness and dis-ease in the body. So that's relationship insanity with yourself. Self-love is getting in touch, however way you can, with the truth of your body and the truth of your feelings, the truth of your story and how you feel about your life and what has happened to you, and not just thinking you've let it go when you really haven't. Maybe you really have, that's fine. But the sign is in the body. If every time you walk into that house for Thanksgiving, or the phone rings, or you think about the person, there's like like some kind of contraction or some kind of anxiety, that means there's something still in the body that's asking to be like listened to, heard, acknowledged, understood, recognized, felt. The body will give you that guidance. And there's all kinds of things you can do. It's beyond, again, what I can talk about now in this moment, but to that. Okay? So get in touch with your feelings. And the body never lies. You want to know more about this? Send an email, give me a phone call, get in touch. therelationshipgoddess.com, and we can go into it. The second form of relationship insanity is really a lot for parents. So parents, if you're listening, I'm a parent, I'm a mother. And so to have had this experience with my mom taking care of her brought into contrast some people that I know, some comments that were made, and just that I know that not everyone has this kind of relationship with a parent, with a mother. And it also had me take another, again, deeper, more look at my own parenting. Because there at my mother's bedside, rubbing her distended belly while she was unconscious or in pain or nauseated, or, I was really thinking, like, would my daughter do this for me? Will my daughter do this for me if I'm this uncomfortable and old and dying and in pain? And it was really like, God, I hope so. I don't know. Am I giving her the same compassion and love and warmth that my mother gave me? That, on good days, yeah, but I have some work to do too, and it got me thinking about that. And I'm going to say a couple things about that. Give another relationship cure for relationship insanity, and then we're going to bring on our musical guest. So, I post a lot on Facebook, and I post some of my regrets, about not bringing my mom in sooner and other stuff. And, you get a lot of, don't beat yourself up, and you have to acknowledge yourself for all the good stuff that you've done. And like, I know it all. Like, I know. And I know, yes, I do acknowledge myself for the good I've done, and I'll be open to admit that maybe I have some blind spots, that maybe I'm beating myself up when I don't really think that I am. But the point I want to make is that there's a difference between beating yourself up and really taking an honest look at yourself in the mirror and looking at the places where you're not measuring up in the way you want to measure up as a friend, as a parent, as a partner, as a conscious person. So, yes, I am largely warm and loving with my children, but I know that I have issues with being quick to anger and sometimes yelling, and sometimes talking in like a curt, edgy tone that I know delivers a negative message. And the truth is, so did my mother. So I guess I could give myself a pass. I go, oh, then I'm safe. That's why I will still, take care of me when I'm dying. But I don't want to do that. I want to hold a higher standard. So, and it really is true. My mother sometimes really yelled and had an edgy tone and a critical tone. She wasn't all peaches and cream. And I still loved her to death. Wow, you could really use that literally sometimes. I loved her to death. Haha. But I'm really moving through this experience. One of the main things that I want to focus on, this experience midwifing my mother's death, is to really, because I've made these goals and I've said I'm going to work on it, and sometimes I do well and sometimes I slip, just really embracing and claiming and holding myself to the standard to really step more into that divine earth mother, like compassion and patience, and even more warmth, more patience, and managing that desire to just try to control their behavior, because it makes me feel like I have life a little more under control in that moment, which is like underneath why people try to control, so they can feel under control, and to just relax more, play more, and be more, I could say more consistently warm, or rein in, like start really reining in and decreasing the edge and managing my own stress and negative thoughts more. So it's a message out to you parents. So the relationship insanity, you know, yes, we're human, but it really is, you know, how I use the word insanity, but, you know, it really is a form of relationship insanity to yell, at your children. I'm just going to say it. I do it. But if you really, like, look, if you watched a video, like, if I watched a video of myself, I'd be like if I was watching a movie, I'd be like, oh man, that lady really should rein it in. She's hurting her kids. You know, look, I'm not about perfection. I'm really not. Because some movies I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, that kid, sometimes someone needs to, you know. But it's relationship insanity to just say, screw it, and not be conscious, and give your children any environment, like to like pump negativity into an environment where they're just trying to innocently go about the business of being a child. It's my own shit. And to pump any of that into the air is relationship insanity. And I don't want to be, you know, that mom that they're talking about in therapy one day who was a yeller or, you know, mean. So, relationship cure, you know, it's not about perfection, and it's not overnight, and it doesn't happen right away, but to really, really get on the consciousness wagon of when you know, and I'm working on it, when I feel that desire to like control or say don't do this or get, you know, kind of angry about something, I take a breath, I walk into the other room, I just switch my thoughts up, or I just bite my tongue. And it's this week I'm softer, probably more subdued because my mother died, but I've noticed I've become softer and gentler. I want to hang on to this. That's the cure. To do whatever you have to. You don't have to kill your mothers off, but do whatever you remember. Have pictures of her around. Look at this soft picture of her. She's so soft. Like, my children are, you know, and they're softer. And so I'm a safer presence, and so they're even softer. Don't get me wrong, guys. I know I'm a good mother. I even said to my daughter the other night, I was talking about the kind of mom my mother was, and I was talking about this. I said, my mother was a really good mommy. I said, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm a pretty good mommy. What do you think? I was asking my 8-year-old, and she goes, oh, she was like, I think you're a good mother too. But she said it like really earnestly. She was like, no, you are, mom. You're a really good mom. I was like, thank you. But, you know, there's always room for improvement. So, softer is the cure. So I'm going to invite Ms. Allison Miller, Allie Miller, Allie Cayenne, goddess, woman, friend, sea star. She's the one who taught me the term, sea star. I'm going to invite her in, and we're just going to like connect and with each other, and then in just honor and celebrate mother. You know, I know Allie's mom. Come on. We're going to invite her on. We're going to talk about motherhood and invite in the great divine mother. So I have Allie Miller. I want to give you a hug. Oh, Allie, I'm so grateful to have her on the show. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure, my honor.
You know, when I asked you to come on the show and you said yes, it was like, yay. Allie, I don't even remember, like 3 years? How long have we been friends? Like 3 years?
At least.
Something
possibly
like that?
more, I think.
Oh, because it was the
boat ride.
We met on that boat ride. We met on this amazing, it was a yoga sail that went from Nyack to the beach it's not Croton-on-Hudson, it's that place where the Pete Seeger's Clearwater Music Festival at that park. It was that beach. Anyway,
yeah.
Will this June either be 3 years or 4 years?
I think it's more.
Might be 4.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought us with dinghies out onto the beach for a yoga class, and then back with the dinghies onto the like 35 or something foot sailboat and we sailed back down to Nyack. It was magical.
It was special, yeah.
The weather was perfect. So since then, it's just been it's special for me. Cosmic sea starhood. And we've crossed paths many times. We've collaborated on things. We've traveled together, literally. I've been at your spirit dance. You've come to my shows, and it was just
baby showers.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Very special person. So we could just sit here and drool over each other. But Allie is, you can talk about what you do, but Allie is an incredible, amazing dancer, artist, soul, spirit, sacred medicine woman, and a beautiful creator of sacredness. I mean, you really know how to bring in sacredness. You do it so beautifully. I've experienced it a lot with you. So on the day of honoring my mom, I'm really glad to have you here. And I don't know, I just want to give you an opportunity to just say to our audience anything you want to say about who you are, what you do, what you're excited about these days on the planet, in your work, your creativity. Anything you want to just kind of introduce yourself as. That's my introduction of you.
Thank you for offering that space to me and bringing me into your sacred Yaj pod for this really special occasion.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're all constantly changing. That is how it is. I am true to my Jewish roots. I'm a bit of a balabusta. I like to stir a lot of different pots. I'm very passionate about teaching yoga, which I do at the Union Arts Center, and also at the Z Kids Club, where I also teach musical theater and ballet to kids. I'm also very delighted and honored to be a part of the team at the Union Arts Center, working on the board of creative direction there. What else do I do?
And that's in Spark Hill.
That's in Spark Hill, New York.
Yeah.
A very special center. It's a salon for creative expression with beautiful concerts and different classes and the various healing modalities, and bringing lots of theater and dance. And as Yaj mentioned, dance is very sacred and important to me. I'm very proud to be the creator of Spirit Dance, and which is a community free-form dance. And the arts are very, very important to me. So, as is my mom.
Yeah, we're gonna get to moms in a minute because
Okay.
I love Allie's mom. But is there just a website or some way that you want to say that people can get in touch with you or find out about any of these amazing events?
The website is still in the process, but please feel free to email me at yoginizucchini@gmail.com.
Yoginizucchini
Yes.
@gmail.com. You can never change that email.
I never.
You're not allowed. So, your mom. I've met Allie's mom many times at her home, hosting events at all of your spirit dance events, holding down the fort, collecting the money, giving the tickets, selling the snacks, and just holding the space in her beautiful, soft, angelic, loving way. I don't know if she's always like that, but that's how I experience her. So soft and gentle and smart and loving, and just her love and support of you are so obvious. Your relationship reminds me of my relationship with my mom. That you guys are just, you just seem like you're just buds and huge fans of each other. Is that accurate?
That is accurate, yeah. And I think very similar, to you is, and what you're doing, with your kids is that you've really been the sole provider.
Yeah.
So you've really been embodying the feminine and also holding down some of that masculine energy and really being a rock for your kids, as your mom was for you. And, I'm very blessed to receive that from my mom as well.
And your mom's been doing that for a long time because your dad died.
My dad died when I was 10.
Right,
Yes.
so she had to be all of it as well. We have Hippie joining us again. Hippie the cat. So, and is there anything else you want to say about your relationship with your mom before we start kind of going into honoring? Are you just totally getting the cat? He likes to hog the spotlight. Is there anything you say about what being a daughter or the mother-daughter relationship or anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I lost my father very spontaneously when I was young, and I had a lot of anxiety that I didn't exactly know was there. I had some post-traumatic stress that kind of just flew up when I was, maybe a year after his passing, and it affected me in a way that I was really afraid to leave my mother's side for a long time. I was very, very close to her. And then once I finally let go, I let go and I traveled and I went very far away. And something really called me back to come full circle to really be with my mom as she was starting to transition into her retirement, into a different time of her life. I really felt something very similar that you felt with your mom, really wanting to hold that space for her, because I think as daughters, we are able to recognize how generous our mothers have been with us and how, giving, and that there's this debt of gratitude that we can never repay, nor do they really expect that from us, but rather to pay it forward. But, because we're so loving, we really want to give, and it makes us feel stronger and lighter and more energized to be that for them.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my exclamation points, my highlighter. That was totally beautifully put. Definitely. Not that, sons, men can't, but it's different. It's different often, with daughters because we're women. We know what it feels like to be women in the world and to give love. Sometimes, if we're mothers, we know what that pull is like, or if we've had relationships with children, or just what the world wants from us, and we know. And then to realize that makes us realize, I think, more specifically what our mothers gave, because we're out in the world as women and we see what it's like to be a woman out in the world and imagining or doing. Then also being a loving parent is like, wow. Mm-hmm. And pay it forward. I like that. So, in a moment, we're going to move into, honoring the great ancient Pacha, Mama, Mother, Earth, Spirit. But before that, actually, no, we'll come back. We'll talk briefly about music, and then we'll go right into the music. Cool. So, we're going to move into playing a little bit of sacred, just a little bit of sacred prayer music. But I wanted to ask you, because music is so much a part of what I've experienced with you. Dancing is usually to music, not always, but can you just briefly say a little bit, Allie, about what, I know briefly, in a nutshell, is what music is for you when you really discovered your passion for maybe specifically for primal kind of sacred music, drumming. I wasn't always hip to it. There was a time when I discovered primal beats and drumming and sacred chants and things like that.
For me, music is a pulse, it's a rhythm, it's something that you may not know where it's going, where it's ending, or even where it began, but it's something that is there to connect you to a deeper place within yourself and a deeper place within the earth, within each other. For me, it's something that is there to help emote something that you had spoken about earlier, about those tales, those stories that we carry with us. For me, music is a tool, or it is an expression of that which has been, hidden within our tissue or our fascia that wants to come out and be released. And it is an expression of that. It is part of that shadow, part of that light that is being called forth and is being expressed through different tones, through different sounds. And sometimes it's just a simple rhythm, the rhythm that is our pulse, and that which we feel when we really tune into, the plates of the earth, and what we feel sometimes when we're listening to nature, or, by the ocean.
So let me just ask you then, would you say, looking back, is it an accurate statement to say you've always been in touch with and passionate about music, as far back as you can remember?
I would say that's pretty accurate. I grew up with a father that absolutely loved music, and part of our rituals in our house was my father blasting the music as loud as
Oh,
possible.
really?
Sunday mornings, I mean, I'm not Irish per se. I mean, I have some Scottish blood in me, but my father loved Celtic music,
Oh, my
and
God.
I grew up every Sunday morning with that being blasted as
Blasted.
loud as possible. And
Okay, there's two kinds of people in the world. Those who had parents who blasted music or played it loud, and those who didn't. And I did too.
I had one of each.
And I blast music on Sunday morning. I blast music, not all the time, but my children are when you're a child and you have experienced blasted music, it does something to you. Hopefully good, but it makes an impression.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like it
Yeah.
kind of set a tone real early, literally.
Definitely, and in the Celtic music there is that repetitive,
Yeah.
deep drum.
There is.
So you start to feel a crossover, into shamanic cultures across the world. You feel that.
Nice. Shamanic cultures across the world. It really is universal. So on that note, would you be willing to just kind of, with your beautiful words, no pressure, no stress, but she really is so good with words, just briefly just kind of tap us into the universal, and we'll go into doing some songs, and then you can teach me that thing you said you had a song chant.
I do, sure.
Yeah. So just sort of, we're just going to do like a little prayer, meditation, whatever you want to call. What do you want to call it?
Yeah, we're just gonna ground
Prayer-itation?
together, open
Ground.
ourselves to sing, just to tune into
Yeah.
spirit, because that's a lot of really what wants to come out when we
Yeah.
sing or when we chant. It's just an extension of prayer.
Totally.
So just finding a nice comfortable seat, just close your eyes, feel the sit bones plugging into your cushion, deep down into the center of the earth. Allow your feet to relax, your shoulders to relax. Feel the crown of your head lifting up. And just begin to breathe. Feel each inhalation expanding you, opening up the back of your body, allowing that fresh oxygen just to clear out the cells, clear out the stories, and make space for the music, the prayer, the expression of spirit. And just feel the veins opening up, the arteries, just that connection to your blood. Feel it opening up like roots, plugging you deep into the center of the earth. And as you release with gravity, feel that opposite pole extending you further up towards the sky. And just breathe in that intelligence from above and below, feeling that connection between heaven and earth within your body. And just let go of the heaviness, the lead, the sorrow. And open yourself to spirit.
Oh. Love that. Got something to teach me?
I got something to teach you. So, in just the spirit of the mother, the divine mother, that of earth, we can always feel our mothers through the elements.
Mm.
So I'm just going to teach you a little song.
Awesome.
Earth, my body, water, my soul. Earth, my body, water, my soul. Air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my soul. Air, Air my breath and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my soul. Air my breath and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my soul. Air my breath and fire my spirit.
Hear that, Mama? Thank you. So I have one or two. Would you be willing to drum
Sure.
the beat and then sing with me? They're simple like that. I just want to take a brief little moment. I don't know. Okay, so when my mother was on her bed, in her last, really in the last day and a half, I did most of the singing to her, and in the last couple hours was most of the singing, and I would rub her belly, and she was not able to communicate the whole last day. And so I sang some of my simple chants that I've known for a few years from back when I did a women's, retreat, like a long time ago. But they're beautiful lullabies. This is a very interesting thing. A lullaby, I don't want to creep any of you out, but it's really a beautiful truth. That singing someone to sleep is very much like singing someone to death. I mean, every sleep is like a little death, and that we go unconscious and we just wake up most of the time. But I really felt like I was singing lullabies to her. I was, into her letting go.
Shavasana.
Into that unconsciousness, the great consciousness, the slipping away into the great consciousness. So these are just really simple, beautiful, great lullabies. And I think my cameraman wants a different angle. Are you trying to communicate that to me? Okay, we're going to just stop for a moment. Okay, so this one is Ancient Mother, and I swear to God, I'm there, and my mother's sense of humor, I was like, oh God, like, is she hearing this through her fog of going into death, of like, you calling me ancient? You calling me old? I swear to God, I had the thought, oh God, is she going to think this is negative? Ancient Mother? It's crazy. So it goes, Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. You can sing with us, Ron. Ancient Mother, I hear your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. Ancient Mother, I hear your laughter. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I hear your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. I taste your tears. I taste your tears. Nice. There's a nice one, yeah? And we'll close out the show with the last one. So I'll say goodbye first. So bye. Thank you so much for tuning in this show to honor my mama. We knew her as Mima. My daughter called her Mima starting like age 2. I think before she was 3, she just became Mima. And Shirley and Allie, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much, Ron Geffen of rocklandstudio.com. rocklandstudio.com. It's like amazing that it was available. You know why? Because it was meant for Ron Geffen. That's why. It was waiting for him. It's one of those like, oh, wait. Oh, The sky's parted, the angels sang, and the perfect website for Ron Geffen appeared. That's how I felt with the relationship goddess. Do you ever have that?
Zucchini.
Yogini zucchini. It's like it's available. No one had yogini zucchini. It's meant for me. The universe speaks to us in all kinds of signs and messages. So thank you so much. YouTube, this will be posted later. We do our best to get the shows posted on Medicine Mondays, so you could get your dose of the day. Thank you for joining the Relationship Goddess Medicine Show. We film on Medicine Mondays and post on Medicine Mondays, unless the very special guests just can't, and then we'll do something. We'll make some kind of special appointment. But for the most part, look for our show posted on Mondays. The YouTube channel is the Relationship Goddess, and I love you. If you're watching, I love you. I don't care who you are. If you're watching, I love you. So this is a really nice one too. We'll just go out on this one. Oh, we didn't do relationship rocks. That's okay. The river she is The river she is flowing, flowing and flowing. The river she is flowing down to the sea, down to the sea. The river she is flowing, flowing and flowing. The river she is flowing down to the sea, down to the sea. Oh, mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Oh, mother, carry me down to the sea, down to the sea. Oh, mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Oh, mother, carry me down to the sea, down to the sea. The river she is flowing, flowing and flowing. The river she is flowing down to the sea, down to the sea. The river she is flowing, flowing and flowing. The river she is flowing down to the sea, down to the sea. I like it. The river to the sea, the river to the sea.
When your legs don't work like they used to before, and I can't sweep you off of your feet, will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from your cheeks? Darling, I will be loving you